For it. So here we go. Story time. Okay, so today is the 30th of June. This is my ex best friend's birthday is today. So why not talk about why she's my ex best friend? So my ex best friend, her birthday is today, and she ghosted me 2 weeks before my college graduation. Ghosted. Like, no calls, no text. I would call her, I would text her, nothing, zilch. So this is what happened. We met initially when we were in the 5th grade at a slumber party, and we hung out at the slumber party. Awesome. I saw her again my senior year when I was working at JCPenney. Her and her mom came in with her brother and sister, and I remembered her. But, we didn't really, we just kind of, hey. Not too long after that, I started going to Rock Valley Community College, and I was sitting down in the back of the library, and here she comes. And from that moment on, she sat with me at that table, and we was rocking ever since at Rock Valley. We had established a friendship. She would come over to my house all the time. She would eat dinner with my family. We would go places together. We would travel, go to Chicago, do all the best friend things. One of the things that stood out to me is that she never actually invited me over to her house. And when she did, she invited me over for the 4th of July for like a cookout, and her mom insisted that I get a plate to go. So I couldn't even sit there and hang out and eat. So eventually I moved on to a 4-year college, and she was still at Rock Valley. So I did 3 years at Rock Valley, which is technically is where you get your associate's degree, but I did 3 years there. And then I transferred and did another 2.5 years, and then graduated with my bachelor's from Bradley. Well, so when I went away to school, we consistently spoke on the phone. She would come with my mom to drop me off at school. I thought it was kind of odd that when she would be sitting in the back seat, she'd have her headphones on and she really wouldn't engage with us. Didn't understand that, but hey, whatever. And I remember when I would come back home from breaks, she would invite me to go to the casino with her family on the bus, and go to the casino. And at that time, I was, in college and really couldn't afford to be wasting money at the casino. Anyway, I would appease her and I would go anyway. Okay, so we talked on the phone consistently. Everything was good. We never actually had an argument. There was a time throughout the friendship where I felt like I was calling her too much, so I stopped calling her to see if she would call me, and it took her 3 months to call me. And at the end, at that 3rd month, that's when we hung out and actually went out after not speaking for 3 months because I stopped reaching out. And that was when I was still at home going to Rock Valley. So during the course of my last semester, about to graduate college, she obtained a boyfriend. She exclaimed that she didn't like him and blah, blah, blah. And he was chasing her and they ended up dating. She would say he took her shopping and did all these things and blah, 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 this and that. They would go down, by the river and be on some freaky stuff, but never actually did anything, stuff like that. So when I would call her, she would either be out with him or, she wouldn't be home. Fine. One time I came home for a break, and she asked me if I wanted to go to the casino, and I was home for a short break from school. Had to go back. So she basically said, if you don't go to the casino with me and my family, then there's pretty much no other way we can hang out because I'll be with my boyfriend. So I politely declined. I was like, yeah, girl, go with him. Yeah, it's cool. I don't have to go to the casino. Plus, I didn't want to. Again, I was an undergraduate. I, was working 3 jobs. I wasn't about to be spending my money at the casino, and I didn't want to go with her and her family. It's just like, what? She kept blowing me off for him, and I was totally fine with that. So over Thanksgiving break, i.e. 2 weeks before graduation, I was home. I came home on a Wednesday, and I hit her up. No response. Girl, I'll call you later, all that. And then the weekend passes, and I actually see her out Black Friday shopping with him. And she didn't have any bags, and he didn't have any bags either. And she was talking about how she was going to go look at computers. And I was like, me too, because mine is kind of old. And he started laughing at me, talking about my computer. And I thought that was kind of odd because I didn't really know him. I hadn't met him. That was my first time meeting him. So how you gonna laugh and tease me? So that kind of gave me an indication that maybe she had been talking about me. Okay, so I saw her at the mall Black Friday shopping, and that Sunday I was headed back to school, and I get a text from her, and she's like, "Hey girl, what you got planned for today?" And I promptly, actually it was that evening. It was that evening I was headed back to school. It was like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening because it was dark outside, and we were pulling out of the driveway, and I was headed back to Peoria. And she texted me and asked me what I'm doing, and I said I'm on my way back to school, and hey, I tried to hang out with you, but it didn't work, so I'll graduate in 2 weeks and I'll see you then. And she responded, she was like, "Girl, I try. I don't know why you even acting like I'm not trying. You act like this and that and blah, blah, blah." And she was really like giving me the business through text message. And I thought this was really odd because I had never experienced that type of behavior from her before. I'm like, damn, what's going on? So I really decided that I wasn't going to let that slide. I wasn't going to allow her to blow me off. And then when she wants to hang out and I can't, she's upset and trying to get defensive about how she's been wanting to hang out with me. No, you haven't. And that's okay. So I promptly responded something along the lines of, you need to align your actions with what you say. You lack in that area. And baby, I didn't hear nothing back from that heifer. I graduated college. I sent her pictures of me graduating. Nothing. After graduation, that summer, her grandfather passed away. So I went over to the grandfather's house where everybody was at, and I brought a card, and I came into the living room, and I, hey, and she barely spoke. Her mom spoke, and her sister and brother spoke. They were really nice. Everybody else spoke. She really didn't. And then her cousin came in the living room and came and got her, and they left and went to the mall. Like I wasn't there. And that is what happened to my best friend. Happy birthday, Raven Addison. I hope you're well.